Hi, everybody. This is Betsy Wurzel, host of Chatting with Betsy on Passion Rural Talk Radio. Jeanne White is the producer and writes the blog, so please read it. If you miss any of this audio cast, you can hear it on Spreaker, Spotify, Google, Apple. I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe, and that way you could always hear my shows. I am very excited to have my friend with me today, a woman who I admire. She is known down in her area in Maryland as the Dementia Whisperer. She has 4 group homes. I wish I could clone my friend and her group homes all over the world. I want to welcome Maria Khader, and I hope I pronounced your name right. Khader?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Maria, I admire you, and that's no secret. And I would really want to tell the listeners, you own and operate 4 group homes down in Silver Springs, Maryland. One is, a couple of miles away from the other 3. And I'd just like to know, how do you do it? How do you do it, especially with this pandemic? I want to thank you for coming on, Chatting with Betsy.
Thank you, Betsy. I thank you so much for giving me the chance to be on your show, and also I appreciate the time and effort that you're doing today with me and with all the audiocast guests that you interview. And I will never forget Jeanne White, and to say thank you. And I am always honored to know a person with a gold heart like Jeanne White. Regarding the
You're welcome.
JK House of Grace Assisted Living and operating, I am the founder of JK House of Grace Assisted Living in 2001. And so it's a family business, and I started it with my husband, working on it together, and now I have 4 children, and they're becoming in their young adulthood, so they're helping and they're working with us on this business. So it would be funny for some people maybe to know this. JK House of Grace started with the name of JK House of Grace, so the name is JK. And that's the initial of my husband's name, Jarius, and my name as Kaula. I go with Maria. But on my Facebook, when people go to our page, they would see that it's Kaula Maria Khader. And so it's the initial of both of our names. And the Grace, it is his aunt's name, and she was the first one to bless our relationship together. So we decided we're going to name it JK House of Grace Assisted Living. And once we started operating their business, and we started, getting involved with it 100%, we start having, at the same time, we're having our own kids. So JK House of Grace become one of the kids that we're raising. So we were raising JK House of Grace little by little, from being born or established or found to be growing, and we're seeing JK House of Grace growing with our kids little by little until we get to the point to say, here we go. We have 4 children. We came up with the 4 different locations, and based on our kids' number. And so when I talk about JK House of Grace, I talk about my child, my baby. Are you there?
Yes.
Hello? Okay. So this is how JK House of Grace named and established. Now, what brought JK House of Grace in my life, in my husband's life, in my family life, is the nature of a person I am. I am a giver. I am a helper. I want to do something for people to help them, whether they are young or old. And then I started to do nursing, and I studied nursing, and I was highly qualified in nursing. And I still have my heart going after helping certain people. These are the people I want. And I remember I used to go to visit older neighbors in the neighborhood to help them, just like clean their home, give them a shower. And I was so young. So that's where I was like doing my nursing career and doing home visits, going to other facilities and see how our seniors are treated. And I would say, if it's my mom, I will not do this to her. If it's my dad, I will not do this to him. I really need to show that those seniors need a better life, a better care, a better touch. They've been doing a lot for our country. They've been doing a lot when they were our age to our country. So why don't they deserve better than, just be put in bed or in a wheelchair or in just a chair? And that's where I said, okay, I want to see if I can establish a small home where I can take care of a few residents only and see if I can make it. And I did. And people start saying, oh, wow, look, the testimonials start coming, showering us with how good we are, how passionate we are, how compassionate we are. And it's so, the more I hear people that saying JK House of Grace is doing the greatest care for my mom, for my dad, for my sister. And this is all what we want. We want to show that those seniors, they deserve the best because they are the one who served the country before us.
That's right. And I want to tell the viewers, go on Facebook and look up JK House of Grace and look at the pictures, look at the videos. What Maria and her staff are doing is so incredible. I wish that there was a JK House of Grace where I live because I would have felt very comfortable to put Matt in your care.
True.
And this is, how much I would trust you and your staff. I would have trusted you all to take care of Matt the way that I would, because I see from the videos and I see from the testimonials, what you do in your homes, you have holidays, you have cooking, you have Father's Day. It's just incredible. When I see your videos, Maria, I actually have tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
Because it's just so beautiful.
I want to share an incident happened the other day on Mother's Day. And, with the COVID-19 and with the pandemic, that incident happened, it broke my heart. Most of the families, with the situation, with the pandemic and the window visits and the distance, social distance, so the family, they want to see their loved one and they want to visit with their moms. And I said, you know what, let's do it and you come and I will make every effort that they can hear you if they have hard of hearing, they can see you, and let's do it. So we started with families coming with cake, flowers, and probably it's already on Facebook and on our social media. And the family will come and present their flowers, talk a little bit with their loved one, and leave. The family will come and leave. And we enjoyed all the families there. I took videos. I took pictures. We ate the cake. I even baked that day for Mother's Day. And we finished the party, okay? And then I went back to where the family were meeting, all the families, in the back porch through the big screen window. And one of my residents, I was still videotaping, and she was sitting there. And I said, hey, what are you doing here? And it's on video, but it's just like each time I look at it, I don't want to put it on social media. It breaks my heart. And she said, oh, well, they all came and left, and I'm still waiting for mine. And I was like, what? Oh, my gosh. She doesn't have mine. She doesn't have a family. She doesn't have like someone to come and say Happy Mother's Day. Oh my gosh. So I asked one of my daughters, and I said, please, go ahead, go to the back porch and carry one of those already flowers that came and call on the phone and say, this is your daughter. She will not know it's your daughter, it's her daughter. And then let's talk to her and say, it's you is her daughter, wishing her a Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day. And we did it for her. So we don't have, like, this is what JK House of Grace is about creating the love that some of our residents miss.
Yes, I see what you do. I mean, you celebrate the Sabbath for your Jewish residents. You know, you celebrate all religious holidays of all faiths, and you will celebrate the birthdays and all special occasions. And I see the love there. And I actually interviewed one of your clients' daughters, Terry.
That's right.
And she gave a wonderful testimony of the JK House of Grace. You could see it in the clients. And what's beautiful, Maria, is you are training, you're teaching and educating family members and your own, like you're teaching your kids, your children, your adult children now, how to be compassionate, how to have empathy. What a great mom you are. Not just, a nurse and a CEO, but you're teaching your children, you taught your children to have such love and compassion. I see your daughters and your sons with the clients, and it's just warms my heart to see that, yes, children can be taught positive things about growing older and making you a better person by showing compassion and empathy. And you're a role model for that, Maria, and you and your staff. And I know you had a program, Adopt a Resident, and we're talking about that. How is that going? I know with this pandemic, things are just crazy.
Well, Adopt a Resident, it was like a little thought came to my head from a high schooler. She called me. Like, I don't know even the lady, that high schooler who called me. And she was asking me if she can send a letter, random letter, to the residents, just to say hello, to write a verse from the Bible, to make a little drawing. And I said, oh my gosh, you are so sweet, a teenager, high schooler, thinking of a senior. What a wonderful thought. So she sent me 3 letters, and I read what she did, and I posted it there for her. And then the pandemic is choking us. The social distances is choking us because we are here with our residents. We do a lot of activities, but they need their family. They need their friends to come and visit. We are not animals to be kept in the house and just like with a treat, you can make me happy. We're not. We are outside people. We like to be out. We like to be loved. We like to be touched. We like to be hugged. We like to be kissed. So if you want to say to a gentleman or a woman in, a senior, and not only a senior, also with dementia, to say, oh, you can't go out, you cannot touch, you cannot do this, you have to sanitize your hands, you have to. They don't understand this. We're not born to be isolated. We're not. So that pandemic put me in a situation that I really want to find a way of hugging those residents, showing them that their family are here with us, showing them that we can do something with them, to see their family like they're with them in person. So I kind of came up with the idea of let's do something called Adopt a Resident. Adopt a Resident where will be family, the family are already here with me. but they know the residents, and those residents, they don't have that many family to communicate with them. So I would say, you're coming here anyway with some ice cream. Why don't you just say something to, for example, Miss Smith? So she will be happy to hear from you. Or I will text the person and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it in your name and say, Miss So-and-so brought this chocolate for you. And that will give them a chance to see and feel like they are still important and someone else is asking about them. So I started asking family to adopt a resident through Facebook page, through a phone call, through a postcard, through chocolate gift. I don't want people to go beyond their budget, because also, we all, the economy, how we going through it. So we cannot really ask people to say, oh, send me a big gift for this person. I don't want to do that. All what I need is words, nice words, comforting words, nice pictures. Like I have a lady that she sent herself with her puppy, her car, her home. It's like yourself, you send a video to our resident. Some other people, they send me a prayer. Some other families, some of the family, they came with a nice gift that made specially done for the resident with his name on it or with something he likes on it. So that's where the adopt a resident is, because of the social distance, because of this pandemic, because of this COVID-19, and all the isolation that we're already going through. I want my residents to be always loved by anyone who can share the love with them, anyone who can share compassion with them, anyone who can show them that they are important part of our society. They are not a piece of furniture. They are a human being, deserve to be touched, deserve to be loved, deserve to be kissed, deserve to be taken care of. That's how I did it.
That's right. And the listeners who are listening, Maria, can they adopt a resident? Can they contact you to find out information about that?
Yes. Adopt a resident, they can communicate with me through the page itself. If they have a Facebook page, it's called Adopt a Resident. They can communicate through this on the, messenger there. Or they can just text me on my phone. I'm going to give my phone number, 301-792-1144. Or they can just go ahead and email me. The email for the JK House of Grace business is it can come to just Maria directly, not even to the main business. It can come to Maria, Maria at jkhouseofgrace.com.
And listeners, I highly suggest to look into that. I adopted a resident, been a little lax because I chose my phone, but you could send a card. I sent a card. I did a couple of videos. You could do that. Whatever you can do, these residents need to know that they are loved and treasured. Maria, how are you all doing with the COVID? Did you have cases? How did you deal with, family members and keeping people safe?
Well, believe it or not, JK House of Grace was always on top of the situation before it gets worse. And I'm always thankful for my husband, following up with the news, following up with the international news, following up with the local news, and be prepared for the worst. And I think what we did with the COVID-19, we were the first small assisted living testing our residents and employees for COVID-19 virus before even it becomes now mandatory. Actually, as of this month, it is a mandatory for all small assisted living to do the COVID test. So we don't have to do it. We already did it. And it started with one of my residents got really sick, and I got sick. And I went to my, with my situation, I am a patient myself, and I'm under treatment, and I have my doctors who follow up on me. I'm still active at my work, but I am a human being, and I get sick too. So
that's right.
When I saw that resident got really, really sick with the temperature is really high, I immediately contacted my oncologist, and I said, this is a situation. I don't have any symptoms, but I have a resident that I've been working with him all day long with a high temperature until I dropped the temperature, but he does not look good. And he said to me, Maria, I would like for you to come. I need to admit you, and I need to test you, and I need to take care of you because just in case if you end up having it, you will be under the care. So with that being said, he immediately said to me, we're going to test you for COVID, but I would like for you to start working on your residence too. And I immediately contacted my husband, and we immediately contacted the county, and the county were very responsive. I have to say thank you for Montgomery County being so responsive to my needs at that time, although it was not required from me to do testing for my residents and caregivers. But they agreed with me, and they assigned a nurse for me who will work with me day by day, every day, support me, even if I need the test. But we end up having the test done and having the results done. And believe it or not, I have the caregiver, out of the 20 caregivers that I have, 4 were tested positive. And out of the 20 plus residents, I have, I would say some of them were tested negative, but like some of them, they're old seniors, so they were tested positive. And I immediately followed the county and the state guidelines, and my nurse was with me. And they were all asymptomatic. I just want you to know. They were all asymptomatic, and with asymptomatic, that means, as the nurse from the county told me, we will have to isolate the residents and the caregivers who are tested positive for 7 to 10 days, and that's unless they become symptomatic. And we were able to manage it. We did the isolation. We did the whatever we have to do with my caregivers, and I don't have to say we were fruitful most of the time during the COVID-19. We were not. We lost 3 or 4 of our residents, some of them before we test them, some of them after we test them, and one of them was due to the complication of COVID-19. And with the caregiver situation, because they were asymptomatic and they didn't like the idea of us asking them not to come to work for those 7 to 10 days, they quit. So we lost caregivers, but we have to work, and life is not going to stop at that point. And I will continue saying, COVID-19 is not going to stop me from working with my seniors. COVID-19, it will not stop me from working with my caregivers. My caregivers are my eyes here. They're my hands. They do everything for me. They're the one who's doing the work. They basically needed me to be there for them, to support them and lead them to the right way. My residents, they deserve everything done for them. They deserve it. And I am going to continue protecting them, protecting my caregivers, and showing the world that COVID-19, it should not be a monster to scare us. We should work and use the protective guidelines provided by the state, provided by the county, to have less complications, but we have to keep going. We have to keep going. So now we are compensating, trying to give more overtime, trying to get more workers to work, And, with the residents, we still open to have more residents coming in as a new admissions, and I'll work with them. And I will do all what is required from me as an assisted living by my county.
That is wonderful that you were able to, keep it contained. I mean, sorry for the losses. Here in New Jersey, the nursing homes, the veterans homes got hit really hard. As a matter of fact, one nursing home in my township had to close, Maria, and they transferred these patients to other nursing homes. It has now since opened. 17 of those residents have died.
Yes.
If not more.
It's also here. It's also here. I heard about lots of nursing homes that caregivers are leaving the job, and I heard about small assisted living. They're closing. I heard about it, and actually, some people from the county reached out for me to say if I will be, willing to take some patients from other assisted living, because other assisted living are afraid of continue to keep functioning, and they're closing their business. So this is really affecting people in different ways.
Yes, definitely financially. How are you doing providing yourself and your staff with the personal protective equipment? Do you have are you able to be supplied?
Yes, actually, the PPEs are. I have plenty of them, I would say, and again, I always go back to say I do have a wonderful partner. That's my husband. He is taking care of that part of the business for me. So he's, anything that has to do with administration, providing equipment, supplies. So from the beginning, when COVID-19 was not yet affecting us as a United States, he was listening to the international news, and he will be telling me, let's start getting supplies. Let's start getting supplies because it's going to be affecting us. So he was ordering supplies. And, of course, we cannot just, store it because we have to keep going, use and reuse. So, but the Montgomery County also, they are very good to nursing homes, or I'm talking about myself as an assisted living, assisted living. They communicated with us, and they would say, give me the number of your residents, the number of your caregivers. We will be providing the following. And every few weeks, they will call, or we will resubmit what we need, from masks to sanitizers to face shield to gowns, the plastic disposable ones, to gloves. No, they don't give gloves, I'm sorry, but we order gloves. And, of course, they also help us with their guidelines. Like, for example, it used to be we were able to order gloves until just last 2 weeks ago. Now, gloves, you cannot find it. And if you find it, it is triple or quarter, maybe 5 times what you are paying now for it. So thank God for the state and the guidelines. They sent us a notation, a memo or instruction to say you can use your clean gloves up to 4 hours. Wash them, sanitize them like you are doing your hands, as far as you're not touching anybody's soil, pieces to urine or body discharge. So that helps us too, using the gloves for a little bit longer time. Working with the residents as far as they are clean and we are able to wash them. So, it's a teamwork, I would say, between us as a small facility or a bigger facility in other, cases, and our county personnel and the state and, employees as caregivers and others. So this is, to me, as far as I am cooperating and collaborating with the county, I'll be supported. So I get those, and I'm using them. And actually, I started using them sometimes for some of the families that I would like for them to be visiting with their loved one. Because now we are in phase 2, and I started allowing the families to come and visit outside, on the porch. And if the family wants to have more touch, or I know some of the residents, it's dementia. So if they want to touch their loved one, you cannot just say, oh, no, you cannot touch. They don't understand you. They want to touch them. So I put the gloves on them. I put the apron, the plastic one. Come and touch and hug. Take it off and trash it in the trash, and you're done. Go wash and sanitize, and you'll be okay. So this is what I'm saying. PPEs are already, we have it, and we are wisely using it, and we are continue to, washing hands is the first number one in protecting infection. So
yes.
This is wash hands. So we continue to do that, and we started also using the old-fashioned of sanitizing. The using of the Lysol, using of the Clorox for the beds, for the handles, knobs, the doorknobs, for the tables. These are also, we can sanitize as we go and clean as we go, and the more we clean, the less germs we collect there. So I don't know if that will answer your PPE.
No,
supplies.
That did. Yes, that did. Because I heard in hospitals, the nurses have to keep using their mask over and over again, and soaking them in disinfectant, and then they have to wear them again. I had to ask you this, Maria, because I'm very curious. Mm-hmm. How did you and your staff manage to do the swabs on some of your clients, especially the ones with dementia? How did you get them to cooperate is what I want to know, because I know that had to be tough. I know that had to be a tough job.
What a great question. You know what? When I came up with the idea of, I want to do the swab, and actually, even before that, when it becomes mandatory for nursing homes to do it, I was like, oh, my gosh, no, they're going to do it for me. What am I going to do with my dementia people? They have dementia and behavioral. I might get kicked. And I said, you know what, let's wait and see how it's going to go. Now, how did this happen? It's only God's grace on us. We got assigned a nurse who was an ER nurse, so that helps sometimes because she's probably exposed to too many of behavioral issues there in ER. And we know our residents, and our residents know us very well. I mean, when they called me the dementia whisperers, they didn't call it just for nothing. So I started with the people that they're easygoing. So we're going to finish with those, because we have to do 4 homes at the same time, at the same day. I don't want to keep postponing. And we started with the easygoing residents that they can be done with just minimum help, minimum hands-on, and minimum instruction. And we do have those residents. And then the difficult cases, we left them till the end, where we did all the treatment possible. Now, maybe another time we will talk about how I deal with difficult residents that I have. I don't go after sedating someone. I don't go after say, she just took her medicine, let's just do it now. I don't do that. I go after behavioral therapy, environmental therapy, pet therapy, music therapy, a hug therapy, and a fib therapy. Did you hear about the fib therapy? There's a fib therapy here. So I use that one with one of them, which is, oh, guess what? Look at that. We're going to do this. Can you help me with that one? And, she put her hand, and we do it for her, okay? It was easy. The nurse, unfortunately, got 2 kicks from 2 of them, but it was not as bad. Let's put it this way. So we did it. So, it could be worse, but honestly, it turned out to be a not bad situation. Yes, we did every possible measure to make it smooth for the resident and smooth for the caregivers and smooth for us, because it's us who's involved. And, the nurse will do it and leave, but who's going to be getting the heat after that? It's us. So it went very well. It went really very well, and I really appreciate the lab who did it for us and the nurse who came and worked with us on it. And I continue to thank Montgomery County for supporting us on this one. And in fact, we just closed the case from being reporting on daily basis from May 22nd till just last week. It's closed, so I don't have to report every day. How is everyone? And that's why.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's why when the state sent us the email to say it's mandatory for all assisted living, I had a fit. I immediately called my nurse, the one who assigned to us by the county, and I said, I want you to understand something. I cannot do what we just did a month ago. We cannot expose them to this again. We are not going to do it again because let's say they're positive. I'm already isolating them. I am in a continuation of isolation, so I don't want to do it. And I told her, what's the impact of us doing it the first time between losing caregivers, between losing residents because, the caregivers were scared to work with them, between losing not the caregivers, the contact. We started being so scared working with each other, and it's not supposed to be doing that way. And that's where I come every day to say, guys, don't be scared. All what we need to do is follow this, and we will be okay. Let's keep sanitizing, let's keep cleaning, and we should be okay. So it was not a simple thing to do the swab and say this is positive and this is negative. It's not a matter of just the swab. It's a matter of the impact of the results on us. And I don't want to go through this again. So thank God it's a one-time. Hopefully we'll not have to do it again as a mandatory. It can be selective. Like just now, I'm in the process of doing it for one of my residents because he has a procedure on Monday, and they have to do it. That I understand. It's okay. But to do it for everyone, I don't see any reason for it, especially we're not doing anything other than just making sure that they are going to be positive or negative. What is this going to do for me? They're not going through any procedure. They're not going to hospitals. They're not going to anywhere. They're sitting home. And most of them are bedridden. So where am I going to go? I mean, what is the purpose of it? Just to know if it's negative or positive and there is no symptoms? So that's what happened with that.
Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you, Maria. And thank you for coming on, chatting with Betsy. I can't believe the time is up already. I always enjoy you coming on. It's been too long since the last time. And I just, admire the work that you do. I want to encourage the listeners out there, go on Facebook, look at JK House of Grace, think about adopting a resident, and, you could contact Maria. I guess you're doing virtual tours, Maria, if
yes.
someone wants to see your facility?
Yes, ma'am.
I think, yeah. Especially if you are in the area, Silver Spring area, I would definitely, and if you have a loved one that needs to have a placement, I'd highly suggest JK House of Grace. I said before, and I'll keep saying it, I would have put Matt in a facility like yours without having to be worried if he would be getting good care, because I know that anyone who goes to JK House of Grace is going to get 100%, if not more, good care in your facility, Maria. And I really thank you and your staff for what you do, especially in the trying times of COVID. Thank you so much. Thank your workers for me. And
I will.
If you want to check out, JK House of Grace, if you want to get in touch with Maria, read the blog that's going to come with this audio cast. Maria gave her information. If you have someone that has dementia, or you are caregiver or if you yourself had dementia, I have a support group, #Kick Alzheimer's Ass Movement on Facebook. You're welcome to join. You can also get in contact with me on my Facebook page, Betsy Wurzel, Wurzel. And if you want to be a guest on Chatting with Betsy, just send me a personal message, and I will get in touch with you. We are near the end of June. I cannot believe it, but we have a few more days left, and it is, can you believe it, Brain and Alzheimer's Awareness Month. But for those who are caregivers, for those who have dementia, it is every day, 12 months a year, 24/7. The awareness is for the public because the public needs to know. I want to encourage all caregivers, past and present, come on my show, tell your story. You don't know who you could help. You don't know who's listening. You can help somebody. And I want to thank Jeanne White for producing the show, writing the blog. Please read and share it. Please listen to the show and share it because you can help somebody. And please subscribe to my show. If you have Amazon Alexa, you could program Alexa or Chatting with Betsy. I'm also on www.geosavan.com, which is in India, and Apple, Castbox, Podchaser, to name a few, Google. So I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. It's for free. And in a world where you could be anything, folks, be kind, be the shining light, and wear your mask, wash your hands, do the social distancing. And until we talk again, chat again, this is Betsy Wurzel, host of Chatting with Betsy at Passion World Talk Radio. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye now.